After working for years in the abortion industry, Abby Johnson understood what it's like to have blood on your hands. Abby received what she calls fierce mercy from God in her own life, and now she extends that mercy to others. Take a look.
Once a clinic director at Planned Parenthood, Abby Johnson drew national attention in 2009 when she fled the abortion industry. The 2019 movie Unplanned tells her story.
I can't be a part of this anymore. Everything that they told us is a lie.
Abby has been a staunch pro-life advocate since '09. She shares her story and the truth behind abortion all over the world. Her ministry, And Then There Were None, helps abortion clinic staff leave the industry. In a new book, Fierce Mercy, Abby explains how God restores both the victim and the victimizer with loving mercy for all.
Please welcome back to the 700 Club, Abby Johnson. Abby, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You worked in the abortion industry for years. You were the youngest Planned Parenthood director ever. What made you leave?
Well, there were several things, just sort of a shift in the culture. And at the time, I couldn't tell if it was that Planned Parenthood was shifting or if it was that I had reached such a high level at Planned Parenthood that I was finally seeing what we had been about all along. I realize now it was the latter. But ultimately, I ended up leaving after watching a live ultrasound guided abortion. And I saw a 13-week-old baby in the womb fight and struggle for his life against the abortion instruments. And I knew then that there was life in the womb, there was humanity in the womb. And I knew that if those two things were true, then I was on the wrong side of this abortion debate. And so I ended up leaving.
How did you deal with the emotions of knowing what you'd been part of for so long and then recognizing the value of life?
I was very fortunate to have grown up with Christ in my life. I was very fortunate to grow up with amazing parents and to have that support system in my life. And so I knew that I could turn to the Lord. I knew that His mercy was great. I knew that I had an amazing husband who had always been pro-life. I have, two great parents. And so I had that support system, and I knew the Lord. So I could go back to Him and say, I've been wrong and I need forgiveness, and I could confess that to Him. And so I had that, but it was difficult. It was a difficult road to go back and to have to confess something so great. But the reason that I started And Then There Were None, the reason that I really wanted to reach out to other abortion clinic workers was because so many of those workers don't have that same support system. And many of them did not grow up with that faith foundation. And that's why it was so important for us to be able to introduce Jesus Christ to them and let them know how great His mercy is and how great His forgiveness is, and that they don't have to live with that burden for the rest of their life.
Once you started reaching out, you got response immediately, and then it just began to build, and you got a lot of pro-lifers who were very unhappy. You got a lot of pushback for helping abortion workers. How did you handle that?
It was interesting. It was a little disappointing, honestly, because when I started And Then There Were None, I thought people in the pro-life movement were going to say, "Oh my gosh, fantastic. You've come up with this ministry and it's amazing. And how great." Right. But a lot of pro-lifers were like, well, why would we want to help an abortion clinic director? They've, made their bed. They can lie in it, so to speak. And there were a lot of people who were saying, they're too far gone to receive the grace of Jesus Christ. They're too far gone to receive mercy. And I was just sort of saying, well, then you don't know the same God that I know. You don't serve the same God that I serve. And that was bizarre to me that pro-lifers were actually saying that. And so, that was really when I became very, very convicted that we had to do something to help these abortion clinic workers. And it didn't take very long for the pro-life movement to really come on board and to say, yes, this is something we need to do. Their souls matter just as much as the lives of these preborn children that we are trying to save.
Well, and then there were none really was the work, it seems, as I read your book, that God used to impact both sides of the issue, not just the people who were working in the clinic, but to declare his mercy and the extent of it to all of us.
Yes, that's right. And that, sorry, my children are in here now. So
right, they were watching. They did a good job.
I mean, I have 4-year-old twins, so this is just real life. Yes, I mean, God's mercy is for all of us. It's for everyone, and we've lost control now. God's mercy is for everyone, and it's for every single person, and that's the beauty of why we do what we do in the pro-life movement. It's the beauty of why we reach out to women who are considering abortion. It's the beauty of why we reach out to the abortion clinic worker, why we reach out to women who have already had abortions to let them know that Jesus Christ is the answer. And if we want to change our culture, then we have to be sharing the message of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, your twins are just 2 of your 8 children. You write about the difficulty of balancing your home life and your work life. What's the bottom line of that?
The bottom line is that you've got to go with the flow. and, you know, our children, our families have to come first. That's the vocation that God has given so many of us. And that's a balance I've had to learn over the years. And, you know, there's just nothing more beautiful than being a mother, being a wife, and it's just been the most amazing gift. And I think, you know, I've had 2 abortions in my life, and I think if anything, it shows that God can truly create beauty out of our past wounds and our past sins, that he would be able to redeem my life after participating in the abortion industry for 8 years, you know, being complicit in 22,000 abortions over that 8 years, having 2 abortions of my own, that he would restore my past and give me 8 beautiful children after that, just shows his heart of mercy and how much he loves his children.
And that's the message of Fierce Mercy, Abby's newest book. It's available wherever books are sold. And really and truly, it's a challenge to all of us as believers to extend God's mercy to ourselves, even as we do to others, even as we do to ourselves. Abby, thank you. Always great to talk with you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.